Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I have a special message for you today, a warning sign that it's time for you to move on. So at whatever phase of your life you may find yourself right now, it's time to switch the page of your life and move on. New relationships, new adventures, new financial opportunities, and many new exciting moments await you. Know that your present challenges are wake-up calls in disguise for you to level up and expand. And I just want to remind you that you got this, because we all come to certain phases in our lives where we kind of feel like things are slowing down, and sometimes it feels like nothing moves in our favor until we recognize, well, it's just another wake-up call to level up, to expand, to experience what some people call rubber band effect, which means that you need to keep expanding yourself if you want to grow, which means that we need to keep trying new things, keep learning new skills, keep seeing new possibilities, keep expanding and upgrading our mindset around what's possible, and keep overcoming certain emotional limitations that may be holding us back, just so we can level up, just so we can experience more that life has to offer. And we all know that for those kind of moves, we need a certain level of confidence. We need to have faith into ourselves. We need to believe into ourselves. And usually when it comes to this phase, people have a lack of trust that they can actually do whatever they want to do. I often receive messages from artists, from beginner artists, obviously as I'm an artist and sharing my work, as today I'm sharing with you painting The Journey. And this painting is a beautiful concept that shows how we are walking in this unfamiliar path that is kinda completely unknown often. We don't really know what awaits us after some new steps that we make. But at some point we recognize that it feels like we're walking on a path of a mission. It feels like we're walking on a divine path where things are slowly unfolding, even challenges at some point transmutes or transforms into blessings. And at some point we recognize that everything actually happened exactly as it needed to happen for us to put us where we needed to be, to learn the important lessons we needed to learn so we could grow into the version we are meant to be, so we can serve our purpose. And that's what this painting represents today. And often I'm receiving messages from young artists, from beginner artists, like, I really love what you're doing, but when I'm thinking about myself, like doing something similar, I feel like my art is not good enough. Or sometimes people feel like they have nothing to share, like, okay, I'm doing art, but I don't know how to introduce it to people, I don't know how to promote my work, and so on. And the truth is that we just need to start. Whatever idea may find us, like, call that gallery and just try a new opportunity, or contact that person. Or you doesn't need to be an artist. You may be like anything that may spark an interest in your heart. At some point we need to try what calls us as an idea, and we need to keep trying and keep contacting new people and keep trying different things until something will work. Like, I'm not doing this, what I'm doing, since forever. At some point it called me, and you know, when we start something new, it never works immediately. We need to keep going and keep going and keep expanding and keep learning new skills until we master something, right? Until we become good at something. And today's message is all about mastering, right? I've put 333 on the thumbnail because when we look at the numerological meaning of number 333, We find it connected with the master teacher, because number 33 in numerology is called master number with the name master teacher, the one who has knowledge and tools to uplift one's life. And it's all about reminding ourselves that we all have been through certain conditioning. We all hold certain expectations that may come from conditioning. And we all create certain meaning out of our lives, out of what is happening, out of what we want to experience, usually based on the perception that was evolved and formed through conditioning, through our upbringings, through people that were surrounding us, through all the noises and ideas we've heard from our environment. That's why I feel so passionate to share those concepts and ideas and inspiration to remind you, hey, the way you look at your life is not how the life works. You've been told to look at life that way. And your perception can change as soon as you become aware that you're just living your life based by someone else's ideas and perceptions and concepts and so on. And when you think that something is not possible, it's just because you haven't tried it. It's just because it feels unfamiliar for you. It's just because maybe it's not your thing. You know, sometimes we may find somebody who's good at something and we may think, oh, I want to do it as well, but it's not our calling. How often I receive messages from people who say, I would love to do what you're doing, but I'm not talented like you are. But I'm following my calling, that's what I'm doing. And I'm encouraging you to recognize what feels really inspiring to you, what you love to do, and truly consider to do more of it. Because eventually, if you truly adapt your lifestyle to the thing that you're really passionate about, at some point you will find a way to expand it and to reach more people with your passions, with your dreams. And at some point, you will start connecting and building maybe a community or whatever may be aligned with your mission. And at some point, you will say, well, I truly love what I'm doing. It is truly growing into something beautiful. So it's not about doing what somebody else is doing, but recognizing the inspiration that may come to you through somebody else and use that inspiration for your highest good. Use that inspiration for whatever is calling you at this point. And for that, you need to believe into the possibility that you're able to change, that who you are right now is just a version that requires an upgrade, because life is all about upgrading itself. Life is constantly recreating itself. Life is a manifestation of alchemy. It is constantly transforming itself, as alchemy is the science of transformation. Life is constantly transforming, and when we find ourselves being stuck in certain situation, we start experiencing this kind of warning signs from the universe. It's time to transform. It's time to transmute your fear into possibility, into seeing possibility for yourself wherever you are. You may find yourself in a certain relationship that just doesn't work for you anymore, but you're still holding to it because you hope it will improve. You hope it will change. But the only purpose of relationships is that each person helps us to become our greatest version. So when you find somebody who's willing to become his or her greatest version, when that person is with us, we will be inspired by that person's work and we will work on becoming our greatest version as well. But if you want to grow in life and you're surrounded with people who are just walking blindly through life, sleepwalking, it will be hard for you to grow, because usually we become the product of people who surround us. So make sure that you recognize the warning signs in your life, that it's time to move on, that it's time to expand, that it's time to make next moves, maybe the most uncomfortable ones, the most fearful ones, the ones that are kind of, in the background of your mind, just because they awaken a lot of fear. but if you look deeper into them, they also awaken a lot of excitement. But fear is blinding you. Fear is often blinding us, and most people stay guided by fear. That's why they never do something great. And greatness is calling you to reflect on your fears and do what feels right. Do not what you believe that is right, but what feels right. Because beliefs may come from what we've heard, but feeling comes from the heart. That's why it's so important to always do what feels right. But it's a huge difference. And for recognizing what feels right, we need to be in tune with our hearts. So there are levels to this, right? There are levels to this process. And most people are living in the first stage, that is comfort zone. In the comfort zone, we like to have this sense of control, like we are in control of what is happening. We know that if we stay in the comfort, we will not fail at anything. People will not be judging us. Nobody will be laughing at us. We'll not be standing out. So it's quite okay. We are unchallenged. So it's easygoing, right? Low risk. But what's happening, we experience low rewards or no rewards. We experience a really low sense of satisfaction. That's why comfort zone is really killing us. Comfort zone is draining us from life because we don't experience nothing new, nothing refreshing. But when we start expanding, we experience what some people call fear zone. When we go out of the comfort zone, we experience fear zone, where we are afraid of the unknown, where we focus on problems and obstacles. When we start complaining frequently, we recognize, oh, nothing is working in my favor. You see, I've tried some new things and it didn't work, so I go back into the comfort zone. In fear zone, we have low self-confidence. We usually make excuses. So you need to really recognize when you tap into the fear zone. As I mentioned, in the fear zone, you are usually focused on obstacles, on challenges, and you find reasons to complain, and you recognize, oh, nothing is moving in my favor. But the purpose of the fear zone is nothing else but for you to remind you it's time to learn something new. It's time to expand. Like I said before, the rubber band effect is called this phenomenon that happens when we start expanding our knowledge, we start learning new skills, we start meeting new people. It ends that every time we do it, we grow. And life is all about growth. And when we grow, we feel good about ourselves. We become more confident. And when we are more confident, we like to do more new things. And when we do more new things, we start meeting new experiences, right? Cause and effect. And when we start meeting new experiences, suddenly it feels like life is constantly blessing us. So why life is blessing us? Because we are expanding ourselves. And that is such an important reminder at this phase. So learning zone is the third zone that happens when you're willing to go through fearful zone, out of the comfort to fear, to learning new skills, learning new things. And in learning zone, you start acquiring new skills. You start acting despite fear. You start expanding your comfort zone. You start, even when it feels scary to connect with some new people and to try some new experiences, even though you may fail and most of the things you will try will never work until one thing will. And you will notice that in learning zone, it's not about manifesting yet. Most people think that when they start learning new things and trying new things, they should already manifest the results. No, learning zone is all about growth. Learning zone is the zone for preparation to become the person you are meant to be, to live the life you want to live. Learning zone is the zone where you are shaping the new self. In learning zone, as I said, you're expanding out of the comfort zone. You're shifting your identity. You're increasing your knowledge. You're identifying your emotions. You're becoming aware of all kinds of different emotions. You recognize, okay, shame is holding me back. Like I feel ashamed when I'm talking in front of the camera, and shame is kind of really visible when I'm expressing myself creatively, when I'm speaking my truth. And that's where you notice, okay, let's learn how to work through this. And you will notice that you're only ashamed, or you're shaky, or you're lacking confidence, or you're lacking some emotional control only because you're not skilled enough at doing that. So to overcome it, build more skills. And skills are built through consistent repetition, but at the same time seeking for improvement, noticing where to fix the errors in our patterns, in our behaviors, in our knowledge. And that helps us to grow. So when we do that, we see opportunities. We are willingly facing the challenges. And that is really, really powerful. And when we do that, we enter into the growth zone. This is the concept of growth, my friends. And when you enter the growth zone, you start mastering the skills. So how to know that you are in the growth zone? How to know that you are growing? You can notice that you're becoming really good at whatever you've started. You've noticed that you've started manifesting first results. You've noticed that you have more curiosity than conviction. You've noticed that you found a sense of purpose. You found, even though that purpose may change in the future, right now you feel like this truly feels right. This truly feels like I'm acting like I'm in a position of service to others. I'm really willing to learn even more. And in the growth zone, you become really ambitious about whatever you're doing. Because, for example, when I've started painting, I was not really ambitious about painting back at that time because I needed to learn the skill. But I was a bit ambitious about learning, even though painting was not fun back at that time because I had no right knowledge, like how to use colors, how to mix colors, how to use the right materials, and so on. So usually we don't do something because we immediately become passionate about. We become passionate about something because we are consistently doing it. And when we become better at doing it, we become more passionate about it. That's something truly important to know. And when you become really passionate about something, you're in the growth zone. But that passion will be really strong. It will not be the one that you may experience for one day and then it disappears. It's really fleeting. In the growth zone, passion becomes like a really strong pillar of your life. You become really passionate about what you're doing. You start meeting many great challenges that are preparing you for many huge manifestations, like huge connections, huge financial opportunities, huge everything. And usually in the growth zone, people embrace the unknown. People really start trusting the universe. And in the growth zone, we start noticing the connection. Okay, I've started, like at this point of my life, I've started following my heart, and now I can see that it was always guiding me to the right moments, to the right phases, to the right challenges, to the right people, for me to become who I always were meant to be. When you see that, you know that you're in that beautiful growth zone where everything is now working in your favor, teaching you to be the greatest possible version you can be. And in the growth zone, you will always be supported with the right resources and everything you will need on this journey to manifest your purpose in this reality, to manifest anything you need so you can serve your mission. Like if that's a certain financial amount you will need for your work, you will find clients. It will almost happen effortlessly. Even though you will be doing a lot of work, it will feel sometimes like a hard work, but it will not be so much hard work than passionate work. And sometimes it all feels like we are working, but at the same time we are playing. We know that that's just something I need to do. Not out of financial reasons, but out of the reasons to fulfill our mission, to see how many wonderful souls can come together just because we found a way, just because we've healed something about ourselves that maybe generations before us couldn't figure out. And now you've kind of placed that missing link into the whole puzzle, and you've started connecting wonderful souls together. You've started building a community, you've started creating a movement or whatever it is. Doesn't matter, it doesn't need to be big, it doesn't need to be like, it has no limits and no labels. It is your thing, you're here for that, and you know that you are here for that. You know that this is your thing. When you feel like that, you are in the zone where everything is aligning for you. So my friends, I hope you found something valuable in today's message. I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Thanks to everyone for supporting my art in our Etsy shop. The link is in the description of this video. AttractPassion is the name. And we have some free spots for my coaching sessions. You can also find the link in the description of this video to anyone who would like to work with me, who would like to take your life to the next level. Let me know in the comment section how this video inspired you. Share some love there. Until next time, one love.